So last night it came out that Minka Fitzpatrick from the Miami Dolphins wants out of Miami, and the Dolphins are letting him look for a trade partner. Now, when I first seen this, I was like, that's pretty cool. Hopefully the Miami Dolphins let Xavier Howard look for a trade so the Texans could go get Xavier Howard. But then, the more I thought about it, the more I, scrolled around on Twitter, this makes sense for the Texans. It really does. Now, if you guys don't know who Minka Fitzpatrick is for whatever reason, he is a safety slash corner. He's like 6'1", 205 pounds. He was the 11th overall pick in the 2018 draft. And that was just, 2 years ago, 2018 draft? He's young. He's 22 years old. He's still young. Now, should the Texans trade for him? At first, I'm not going to lie, I was like, you know what, I'm going to just chill and wait for Xavier Howard or Patrick Peterson or something. But like I said, the more I thought about it, it makes sense for the Texans. And I think they should absolutely try to trade for Minkah Fitzpatrick. Now, why does it make sense? Well, obviously the Texans Secondary is a complete mess. It is terrible. We saw what Drew Brees did to the secondary on Monday night. Yes, you could blame the pass rush as well, but the coverage wasn't good either. I believe the DBs didn't even get a single hand on the ball that whole night. So when that happens, that is very, very bad. And the biggest need in that secondary at the moment is probably nickel corner. Because you already got your safety in Justin Reed. You got Deshaun Gibson as the other safety. You got Roby as your outside corner, who I thought did a decent job Monday night. You have J-Joe with Lonnie Johnson ready to take J-Joe's spot here probably at the end of the season or maybe at the start of next year. But you don't have a nickel corner. Minkah Fitzpatrick, he wants to play nickel corner. Miami, they're using him as a deep safety and a nickel corner. He can do both at a high level, but from what I'm hearing, Minkah Fitzpatrick just wants to play a nickel corner. That's where he wants to play, and hey, the Texans, they need a nickel corner really, really, really bad. I mean, they literally just cut Aaron Colvin a few days ago, and they signed Phillip Gaines, who is terrible. So, nickel corner is probably going to be a huge problem for the Texans for the whole year if they don't trade for a player or if some random young player doesn't step up and end up being good. And I'm really looking at Crozen, the guy we traded for with the Patriots. Maybe he could come in and be a decent nickel corner, or maybe Xavier Crawford could come in and be a decent nickel corner. Or, hey, maybe Lonnie Johnson kicks out outside and they try Roby in the nickel, but Roby's never played in the slot, so I don't know. And let me talk about that for a second. Roby. A lot of people seem to think in Denver, Roby was the slot corner. No, he was not. Roby has always played outside in Denver. Yes, he was the nickel corner, but just because he was a nickel corner doesn't mean he was a slot corner. Nickel corner is the third corner that comes in. That's what it means. Now, regularly, the third corner that comes in plays in the slot. That's why most nickel corners are considered slot corners. Now, in Denver, that was different. In Denver, the early years in Denver, when Roby first got there, it was Aqib Talib and Chris Harris starting as the starting two corners. Now, for that reason, people seem to think that Roby has experience in the slot. No. In Denver, whenever the Broncos went into nickel situations, the nickel package, Chris Harris would slide inside as the slot corner, and Aqib Talib would go to the number 1 corner, and Roby would come out as the number 2 corner. That's what they would do. Roby has not played slot. Not a lot. He might have gotten a few snaps, but Roby has not played in the slot. Chris Harris is arguably the best slot corner in the NFL, and he's been the best slot corner in the NFL for quite a while. So everyone's saying that Roby has experience playing in the slot, in the nickel, whatever you want to call it. That's not true. He might have gotten a few snaps here and there, but for the most part, he played outside in Denver. So now that we got that out of the way, let's go back to Minkah Fitzpatrick. Now, like I said, the nickel corner spot for the Texans is terrible. They cut Colvin, signed the probably even worse Phillip Gaines, and the nickel corner spot is going to be an issue for the rest of the year, in my opinion, unless some unforeseen thing happens with one of the young players and they end up stepping up and being good, but I just don't see that. So I think the Texans should trade for Minkah Fitzpatrick, and like I've been saying, it makes sense. Now, another way it makes sense is the Texans, with the Laramie Tunsil and Kenny Stills trade, they kind of now have a relationship with the Dolphins. They've already made a deal with the Dolphins, so Bill O'Brien or whatever 42 of the other GMs we have, they can just pick up the phone and be like, hey, remember us? Yeah, we just made a trade. Want to make another one? So they already have a relationship, so I think it'd be kind of easier to negotiate a deal with Miami because we've already negotiated a deal before. Now, the next thing, Minka Fitzpatrick, if he came to Houston, he would already have Laramie Tunsil and Kenny Stills in the locker room because obviously they both played in Miami. Minkah Fitzpatrick would be coming from Miami, so he'd be comfortable and he'd know 2 guys in the locker room that were with him in Miami, so it'll help him feel more comfortable in the locker room and help him transition from Miami to Houston. I think that'd be pretty big. The next thing, and this is kind of the one that made me believe that it was a very good fit. Brian Flores, the Dolphins head coach, he is from the defensive side of the Bill Belichick coaching tree. You know who else is? Romeo Crennel. Meaning, whatever the Texans are doing here in Houston, the Miami Dolphins are probably doing the exact same thing over there in Miami. So Minkah Fitzpatrick would come over here and he would already know most of the terminology that the Texans are using because the Dolphins are probably using it as well. So that right there, to me, made it a really good fit because instead of Minkah Fitzpatrick coming in here and like everything being brand new to him, he probably already saw it in Miami, so he's been working on learning that for the past, 9 months since they hired Brian Flores. So I think it'd be a fit from that standpoint. Not only that, this one right here is what makes me really want to make this trade. Like I said, Minkah Fitzpatrick is young. He came out of the 2018 NFL Draft, meaning if you trade for him, he'd be under contract for the rest of this year, 2019. He'd be under contract in 2020 and 2021. That's 3 years. That's pretty decent for a very good player like Minkah. But wait, there's more. Since he's a first-round pick, you get the 5th-year option as well. So now he's under contract in 2022 as well, meaning he won't be a free agent until 2023. That's 4 years of very high level nickel corner / safety play from a very young player. I'll be honest, you're not going to get anyone better than Minkah Fitzpatrick in the draft. You're just not, unless you're picking first overall and there's like some awesome corner there, which I haven't even started scouting yet for this upcoming draft. I don't see us being able to pick up a better player than Minkah in the draft, especially considering we don't have a first round pick. Now, here's a question. What would it cost? From what I'm hearing, a second-round pick gets it done. Now, the Texans, since they're probably going to be picking late in the second round, they'll probably have to throw in like an extra fifth or something to get it done. I say go for it. I mean, I understand we don't already have many draft picks, but hey, you're not going to get a better player than Minka Fitzpatrick in the second round, and you have him under control for 4 more years. So, Bill, Brian, or whoever's on the phone making trades, pick up the phone and call Miami and get Minka Fitzpatrick. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys for today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.